Hello and welcome back to Excelsior Academy. Myself, Dr. Ruby. So, as I said, that we are completing the 8th chapter from the class 8 CBSE NCERT syllabus. So, I'm here presenting the multiple choice questions, which will make the students to understand whether they are clear with their concepts, are they thorough with the topics which has been covered, and few previous years questions has been asked, which is included in this. The questions I've taken from the previous years, their annual exams. So let's see how well you are doing in this chapter. So the first question is, the powerhouse of cell is called dash. It is the cell wall, mitochondria, ribosomes, or nucleus. So this we know that cell wall is present in bacteria and plant. It is the outer covering, right? So it is not. And if you remember, I have mentioned that mitochondria is responsible for your energy source. So ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, is produced by ATPs. So remember ATP, again I'll repeat, it is the adenosine triphosphate. So this is the source of energy which all the living organisms use to carry out their metabolic activities. Okay. So here the answer becomes mitochondria. Ribosomes is for the protein synthesis, and nucleus, we know that chromosomes genes are present which are responsible for your inheritance. So here the answer is mitochondria. So let's move on to the next. The kitchen of the cell is called dash. Cell wall, nucleus, vacuoles, plastids. So what it can be? So already, as I mentioned, cell wall is outer cover. Nucleus is responsible for the inheritance, and vacuoles, we know it is the storage, right? So plant cells have got this vacuoles where they are able to store the food materials or sometimes toxin. Remember, I have talked about the bitter gourd. So all the bitterness of the Karela is present in the vacuole. So once you rupture the vacuole, so when you eat, when you chew, so the vacuole gets broken up, and that's why you get the taste of the bitter. Then comes the plastid. So we know that plastids, the chloroplasts are also there. So chloroplasts are the kitchen of the cell over here. The functional unit of life is called dash. So this is what the basic chapter is all about, the cell. So here the answer is cell. Chloroplast is found only in plants, animal, both or none of them. So already we have been discussing, it's so simple. The answer is plant cell only. Animal does not have chloroplast. The control unit of cell is dash. Nucleus, cell wall, cytoplasm, all of these. So how in human body your brain is the control center? In the same way, in the case of cell, it is the nucleus which controls the entire functioning of the cell. So the answer is nucleus. Single-celled organisms are called dash. So this already we have discussed. So when it is a single cell, it is the unicellular. So it is the single, if it is single is there, unicellular. And if it is many are there, like multiple cells are there, then it is the multicellular. So the example is for multicellular, like us, eukaryotes. And in the case of unicellular, one very good example is amoeba. Okay. So here the single cell organisms are called unicellular. Moving on to the next, this is very simple exercise. This will just give you an idea that you are thorough with your chapter. So tissue is a group of organs or cells or tissues or organisms. So please recollect, we have said that from the cells, the collection of the cells, you get a tissue. From tissue, you get organs, and from organs, you get organ system. Okay. So here the tissue is actually the group of cells. So the answer is group of cells. Cell is discovered by, of course, the great famous Robert Hooke, who actually took the cork, thin slice of the cork, and observed under the magnifying glass, the first microscope he used in order to visualize the cells. And what he found that it was like compartment like boxes, right? And he did all this in 1665. Just imagine how long it is. So the answer is Robert Hooke. The cells capable of changing shapes are, options are amoeba, WBC, where WBC stands for white blood cells, both of these, none of these. So if you remember in my previous video session, I talked about how amoeba, so we already know that amoeba has got irregular shape, right? And it make use of pseudopodia movement so that it can engulf. In the same way, I have also explained how WBC moves from one place to another. That is, if there is any wound is there. So from how exactly from the blood system it reaches its the wound site so that it can act and defense system over there in order to prevent any infection. So because you know that whenever there is a cut, a wound is there, the chances of bacterial infection increases. So in the same way, WBC also engulfs the bacteria, and amoeba also engulf their food particles from outside. So they change the shape. So what will be the answer over here? Both of these. So the cells capable of changing shapes are both of these. Hence, egg is a what? It's a single-celled organism over here that time. So it is the cell, a largest cell which you can see with your naked eye. The largest cell is of, again, just the repetition, it is the egg of an ostrich. A cell with a definite nucleus and nucleus membrane is called what? So we know that as we have discussed that prokaryote means what? That is primitive without the nuclear membrane, without the nucleus. So here the answer is the bacteria, the prokaryotes. So a cell with a definite nucleus and a nuclear membrane is called dash. So here they are talking about having a nucleus and a nucleus membrane is present. Whereas in the case of prokaryote, it is absent. So the answer becomes here eukaryotes. Okay, do not get confused. Unit of inheritance is gene, so which are located on the chromosomes, and when a child is born, 50% of the genes are taken from the mother, 50% are taken from the father. So here the unit of inheritance becomes the gene. So again, one more question. Dash is the outermost layer of an animal cell. So if you remember your previous session, in that we talked about how exactly the animal cell. So let us say that this is an animal cell. You have got a nucleus over here. So the outermost layer is always the cell membrane. Remember, it does not have cell wall. So it does not have cell wall. No cell wall. Okay. So that is the outermost layer of an animal cell, the membrane, the cell membrane. Next. What is the name given to the green plastids? So already we have discussed. So there are different plastids. So protoplastids, isoplastids. From isoplastid, remember you get chloroplast and then you get the chromoplast. So among all these protoplastids, the one which is green in color is the chloroplast. And now why it is in green in color? So it is because of the pigment called chlorophyll. It is because of the green pigment called chlorophyll. So what is the name given to the green plastid? So it is the chloroplast. So the answer is over here is the chloroplast. I hope all these questions are easy and you're able to do the by yourselves. Name two organs present in the plant but not in animals. So when we were discussing about the differences between the plant and animal cell, so it was the first thing that cell wall is present in plant but not in animal cells. Okay. And the second thing, since the plants, they are capable of food synthesis, so they have got the chloroplast and animal does not. So what are the two organelles present? Cell wall and the chloroplast. Which part of the cell contains organelles? So it is the cell. It has got the, so if you see the diagram over here, I'm sure everyone knows the answer also. So let us say that it is a cell. This is the plasma membrane. Then you have got the nucleus. Now what is present over here? This is called the cytoplasm. Now if you see the figure over here, now you know that most of the organelles are present over here. Let it be ribosome or ER, which stands for endoplasmic reticulum. Then you have got the mitochondria. Then you have vacuoles, Golgi bodies, etc. So all these are present in the cytoplasm. So what is the answer? Which part of the cell contains organelles? So it is the cytoplasm. So let's move on to the next. Why Hook had to take thin slices of pork? So this is like, with experience, you understand how exactly to carry out any, procedure, any protocol, experiment. So if you take a very thick slide and if you observe under the microscope, what will happen? You will see something dark. It won't be clear because why? Because the light is not able to pass through the specimen. Correct. Now, when you know that something is blocking and light is not able to pass, what will happen? You just see a dark image over there. So you won't be able to see what was your specimen kept on the glass slide. Okay. So that's why Hooke had to take very thin slices of the cork so that the light, it can pass through and clearly he can see what exactly is present in the specimen sample. So that's why he has to take very thin slices. Which cell is observable with unaided eye? So already we have discussed during the MCQ, that is the ostrich egg. So last question, how do you differentiate protoplasm and cytoplasm? So if you remember in previous videos, we talked about protoplasm, which is also called the living material of the cell. So without the cell membrane, the cytoplasm and the nucleus, it is your protoplasm. Okay. Now, what is cytoplasm? It is the jelly-like substance, which actually, constitutes of many components like ER, mitochondria, Golgi, ribosomes. All these are present in the cytoplasm. So now, if you want to differentiate, how you can say is that protoplasm is actually the living material of the cell, which is comprising of cytoplasm and nucleus, whereas cytoplasm is that jelly-like substance which is constituting all your components of the cell. Okay. Now, when I say components, it is the organelles which are present in the cell. So that's all for this chapter. So hereby I conclude that the chapter 8 for the class 8 is been over, including the multiple choice questions. I hope this was helpful to you all. Please share, subscribe, and like it, and please hit the like button. Please hit the bell icon also so that you get the regular updates. So we'll be doing the next chapter as soon as I'm going to upload, and any comments and suggestions are appreciated. If you want, you can write us to excelsioracademy1228@gmail.com, wherein you can also give your own topic on which you would like to hear from me. So I hope this was informative and helpful. So till then, take care. Let's hope and keep watching.